Yo, what's up, guys? I'll keep it 100% honest with y'all. I'm gonna keep this video as short as I can possibly keep it. Um, but this is a little bit of a rant on DBD. And there's no script for this or anything. I haven't even planned this. I'm just gonna say everything that I think about this game on the top of my head. Okay? So, I've been playing Dead by Daylight since the beta that it came out, and I obviously played in 2016. And I was like a kid when I started playing it. By the way, I would say I was like, if I'm not mistaken, like 10 or 9 years old when I played it. And now I am in my 20s, and I am playing the game still. But I'll be honest, it's not looking good. I've been playing this game for a while now, and we're on the update right now where we got diminishing returns. And honestly, I thought it was a little unnecessary to a certain extent. I understand why they did it, probably because of build variety, but it's never going to stop the meta, and that's a sad thing. I'll be honest with you. I'm going to go over a lot of the reasons why I think DBD is just so stale right now, dry, and honestly, probably a lot of the reasons why people quit. Um, and we can just simply start off by saying the game just keeps getting more and more survivor sided. Now, I know people are going to say, oh, blah, 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 and they're just going to go crazy, which is whatever, because I'm not surprised even if that did happen, because it's the Dead by Daylight community, and people nowadays don't like to listen, you know, to even at least listen to someone's opinion, right? And I'll be honest with you, man. I think the game is more survivor-sided. Not to an extent where you always escape. Sure, there are matches where you can lose, but there's a lot of explanation that needs to go on why I think it's survivor-sided. And let's start with the number one important thing, okay? I think that there's very little skill involved to play Survivor nowadays. Nowadays on Dead by Daylight, to play Survivor, all you need to do is bring 4 good perks. That's it. Just 4 meta perks. And you, for the most part, considering you're, decent, you will escape quite a bit, and you will, well, unfortunately, because that is how MMR is affected, that's how you'll escape. And your points will go up. So I believe for this, I just think that it's very horrible that I'm playing against perks and not survivors. Do you know what I mean? And it's no surprise to me, honestly. I've been playing this game every day since 2016, basically. Because I was basically just a kid, and I had nothing better to do in life, which, makes sense. And as I got older, I started to notice playing Killer was it was becoming worse. I've had people tell me, but hey, I heard in 2016 it was really bad as well, the balance and stuff. And I told them it technically was, like, it was still survivor side. Like, you could still self-care back then in like 7 seconds, which was in about a pallet drop, okay? 7 or 8 seconds. You threw down a pallet, stunned the killer, and you would heal with self-care, yes. And there was a lot more garbage, right? Like BNPs and stuff, and brand new parts and whatnot, yeah? And all sorts of things you could do, dude. But I had more fun playing Dead by Daylight back then than I did now. And sure, maybe it's because, hey, it was something new, you know what I mean? It's a different game, yeah? It could have been that, but it just felt better. Like, something in my heart tells me that the developers just don't care anymore. All they're just doing is just shilling the game and just making the most money as possible. And I watch all sorts of streamers, and there's one streamer that I saw one of his videos, and that streamer said I think it is very, I'm not sure the exact words, but it was something along the lines of, I think it's very sheep-like or disrespectful, or you could even say both of those words, it's like fair enough, to not mention me in the community. And I know by just saying this name, I will get a lot of hate. But I don't care, because this is my video, and I will put out whatever I wish. And that is the video about true talent. Okay? True talent. This is the content creator we're talking about. And I believe True Talent has a saying in this because, believe it or not, I never got to obviously speak to True Talent, and I don't know if I ever will. I mean, I would love to one day have a debate with him or just talk with him about the state of the game and whatnot, but honestly, a lot of the things he says, he's got a point. And the thing is, the reason why most people will dislike him, except for the slander, you know, and the fake lies that have been going on, I think it's also because no one likes his opinions. But this is the problem with people. If you're going into a conversation, you need to have an open mind. Okay? You can't just go in and, oh, I already dislike this guy. So you're just automatically, most likely, going to disagree on everything he says just because you don't like that person, you know? And there's a difference here. I hear people saying they hate him. And that's a very strong word. It's a big difference between saying you dislike and hate somebody. For me, as an example, I don't really hate anybody specifically. I can dislike people. I think I dislike Ochida from back then. I dislike a lot of streamers, you know, that sometimes don't logically make sense. Even when I try to understand their side, it doesn't make sense to me. But the point here is, I'm going to bring up a very, very good point that True Talent says, and it's the most debated thing on the planet. I'll be honest, within the entire DBD community, bruh. And that is the fact of the game being about kills and not hooks. Let me explain. If the game, right here, let's go right here. If the game was about kills, okay, you would have to be running something like this, right? You just have to. Here's the strategy. You don't even tunnel anymore. Tunneling used to be a lot more popular. You still can tunnel. Depends on the killer you're going to play. But I think at the current moment in this meta, slugging is the best thing you can do. Let's take a look at this Wraith build. So, if the game was about hooks, okay, this would be actually a good perk. This is a good perk because it's on fresh hook survivors only, right? This perk, Pain Resonance, is on fresh hooks. But guess what? They nerfed this perk. I believe, if I remember correctly, this used to be 30%. I could be wrong, but somebody, like, please correct me if I am wrong, of course. I remember Pain Resonance used to be like 30% progress or something, which was really good. And the problem with this game is gen defense perks are absolutely mandatory if you want to win in the current state of the game. But this just wastes a lot of your time. Because let's just say you're playing in Pablo Answers, because we're not going to use comp as an example, right? Even if you're playing at top MMR, which I know I am top MMR, because just a few days ago, I believe MMR was, like, actually working for once. And I was playing against the sweatiest killers and the really good survivors. I was playing with good survivors, too. Yeah? And then same with Killer. I go on Killer and I'm playing against survivors that have 5k plus hours consistently, yeah? I even gone to matches where I had legacy players. Now, I'm not sure if they were cheating, but, like, I don't care. One of them I know wasn't, because I checked their profile, you know, everything checked out at least. And yeah, like, MMR's been really strict lately, so I have a feeling I can comment on this. And that's another thing I'll touch up on later, but let's start with this conversation. I don't think this perk is badly designed. I don't think Pain Res is badly designed because it revolves around fresh hooks and you get a big reward. But no, they decided to nerf it. So they want to counter tunneling. They want to stop slugging. But they don't give you a good enough incentive for it. And at the end of the day, yes, there will still be some odd toxic people that will just do it to be toxic. But for the majority of the community, this would stop it. And then here's why this gets these perks and everything gets nerfed. The reason it gets nerfed, okay, is because of casuals. And people don't believe it when you say it, but it's true. And I will prove to you how it's true. When I play on my high MMR lobbies, which is apparently, according to their data, 5% of the community, which honestly could be true. Because the day I was playing, or I'm not sure if it still is, but you can go check at the moment on Steam charts. There is on only Steam charts about 60, at least 67k when last time I checked. Okay, but I can guarantee you it's a big enough number for you not to be getting the same players back to back, and I keep getting the same survivors, the same killers back to back. Okay, so I know my MMR is really high, and I'm stuck at the 5%. I actually ended up going against True Talent, at least I believe twice, when he was doing his viewer builds and stuff, right? And it was cool, it was fun, but I'll be honest, it gets to a point where I'm kind of just bored because this is unhealthy for the game. I like having a challenge. I'm a very competitive person, okay? I like to win. But it just gets to a point where sometimes you just want to chill out, right? Sometimes you just don't want to sweat. Especially with the condition that the game's in where it's about kills. On Survivor, when I play Survivor, I don't even care. I'm just chilling. You know, dog? Like, I'm just absolutely chilling. I don't escape every game, but I'm chilling. You know, I don't care for it. Because the truth is, an example, these perks you're seeing here, they're not bad, right? I've got reappearance add-ons, yeah. I've got the reappearance. I sometimes run double reappearance, but I prefer the movement speed sometimes. But I think now it's just better to have double reappearance. I just do this for the cutoffs and to block windows, basically. But long story short, this isn't a bad build. The problem is, if you go against good survivors, this killer as well, Wraith, just gets completely, I wouldn't say useless, but like, he's just not as good, right? Like Sloppy Butcher, Pain Resonance, Eruption, Deadman Switch. Very strong combination, right? He's got movement speed. You can benefit from Eruption, kick a 3-gen or a 4-gen. Nice. You get a hook, regression. Sloppy Butcher, slow down healing. Deadman Switch to block the generator, which I think this actually is bad design. We wouldn't need to block generators if they weren't so fast. I ain't gonna lie. But considering you're trying to win, I think this is a very optimal loadout. Probably not for Wraith, but let's say you play someone like Blight. This becomes even better. If you play someone like Nurse, this becomes better. Except for Nurse, I personally like to run an aura reading perk, in my opinion. And then the rest of Gen's slowdown. But yes, the problem with this game is that versus survivors, it's just not fun. It's really not. Because, you see, I've been playing DBD for a while, and I can tell you one thing. Back then, before all these changes, even, you could even say in 2019, right? Like, so it didn't have to be at the start of the game. I saw more variety of killers. Like, I would go into every match, and yeah, sometimes I would get the same killer, like, not the actual player, but maybe I would get, like, you know, 2 Wraiths back-to-back, or 2 Spirits, or whatever. But now, no. And now, I see Nurse, and Nurse, and then Spirit, sometimes, you know, a lot of Blights, even though he got nerfed, apparently, which, whatever, he's still a good character if you know how to perfectly play him, of course. But still, yeah, you only see those killers. Nurse, Blight, Spirit. The only killer I could think of that you know what, actually, people don't believe when I say this. I think Dracula is a jack of all trades, master of none, yeah? Which is true. He's got multiple things. He's got mobility. He's got some anti-loop, okay, with his Hellfire. You could shut down filler pallets really easily. And you've got your wolf form to catch. You can also use it to catch up to survivors, because you get the haste from the little scent orbs. and it is a sort of I would say a form of anti-loop, right? Because he can dash twice, and if they play it wrong, they will get punished for it, and you'll get the down. And believe it or not, I am at top MMR, and for the last week I've been playing ever since MMR got strict. I haven't seen a single Dracula. I might have seen one, actually. I believe I might have seen one. But I haven't seen a Wraith. I haven't seen a Trapper. I haven't seen anything else. Like, I've seen Bubba's, and I'm surprised considering I think he's not that strong of a killer. Okay? But I'm a good player, so my pathing and me knowing when to create and everything, and I play very efficiently. So yes, if because we're talking about the most efficient, right? We're not talking about casual average play because that doesn't matter. Just because it's the majority of the community doesn't matter, okay? What matters is that they listen to people like Ottstarvo, who's actually in the Fuck Whisper program, which they don't because, I don't know, they just don't care. They just want money, okay? People like Ottstarvo get opinions from people like True Talent. Just because True, as an example, got kicked out or had a bad reputation before, doesn't mean that people's opinions don't matter. At the end of the day, True Talent, I always mention his name specifically, and the reason why I'm mentioning him, okay, is because he took a big part in this game at the start. I believe True helped this game, not necessarily like help this game just he made the game. No, I believe like he definitely helped push a bigger audience as well. He pushed a lot of people to play it, you know, by giving, like opinions and stuff and saying about the game. I believe he's the one who made the game, a little more known, recognizable, and he doesn't get credit for that anymore. He used to, but then people said, "Oh, why did he say this? Let's just twist his words and lie." And here's the thing: let's just say, hypothetically, theoretically, right? If what everyone said was true, okay, about him, about True Talent, let me tell you something, okay? Do you not think the majority of people, if they were racist and a homophobe, okay, and did all that stuff, do you not think they would be banned from a video game? They're like these people don't have logic, by the way. I think they would, honestly. I know DBD's pretty petty with banning people, okay? So, um, here's the thing. I'll tell you how I know it's not true. Even if it actually is true, okay, even if it was true, here's the main factor you have to understand. There's no evidence. There's no proof. You can't send me a clip of him apparently mocking the disabled, popular clip, right? And tell me that he was mocking the disabled. No. If he said something, okay, then yeah, that would have been a different story. But he didn't. So, it doesn't make sense, right? He was just talking about it. He was just, when you just go and make a voice and you're like mocking someone, that's what that is. It doesn't mean mocking the disabled. But it's whatever. There's not enough proof apparently for the people that have no logic. Like he said, okay, in one of his videos, which I believe this is very true, don't tell me why I'm wrong, or don't tell me I'm wrong, just tell me why I'm wrong. And that is true. That is logically speaking true. But these people won't even get to the point where they say that or hear him say that because they just say, I don't give a fuck. You're a fucking racist, you're a pedo, you're this, you're that, you're that. I'm surprised he even has, like, I don't even know how. I wish I could ask him. Or if he somehow sees this video, I don't know how he still has the mentality and the energy to keep up with all this and just stand everything. Like, I mean, I wouldn't be able to stand for it. That's a lot of shit, you know what I mean? Like, I've got a pretty good mentality, but I'm not that fucking crazy, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, no disrespect or anything to him. Like, I'm being serious. I'm just kind of curious and wondering how he does it, you know? I don't know. Like, I know he says a lot of time, I just ignore it. but I don't know. It's kind of difficult sometimes, you know? Like, it is a lot of shit. It's not a little emotional, you know? Because at the end of the day, you've got a human being in front of you, you know? Um, but that's just how it is. But anyways, back to the balance in the state of Dead by Daylight. I think it's just the survivor. This is the one problem, okay? Except for the hooks and kill scenario, right? You can go watch True Talent because he'll explain it better. But basically, he said, if I'm not mistaken, something along the lines of, you have to give killers an incentive. Pain res isn't a bad incentive to a certain extent. It's not too bad, okay? Like, you get gen regression, and it's for fresh hooking. Right. Except, I believe if you're going for fresh hooks, this shouldn't be 20%. It should just be 30%. Because you're going for fresh hooks, you're not tunneling. You're not doing any of that. If you slug, you don't get it because you're slugging, which means you haven't hooked. See? Less slugging, less tunneling. I don't know why people would disagree with that. Like, here, it could, like, the win condition also would make sense for it to be about hooks instead. Because then that means the more hooks you have, the better. You know? So, I don't get it, dude. I really don't. Like, because then that would mean if you got 2 survivors out, but you didn't hook the other 2, would it be considered a draw in terms of hook states? No, you just got 4 hooks states. You know? And if you got everyone death hook, well, that's just apparently not only more blood points, which people always want, because that's the argument people make nowadays, apparently, of the casual players. But let's just take the casual player side for this sake. You get more blood points for fresh hooking, and not slugging, and not tunneling. So, why should you not want killers to play quote-unquote nicer? But you want to know why they don't want to play nicer to killers? Don't worry, I'll show you in just one click, okay? From this menu, okay? I'm gonna open this loadout, and you'll see what I mean. Technically 2 clicks, probably, guys. Alright, let me show you, actually. This is a good idea. Let me take off all these perks. I'll tell you why people like Killer Slug. Let's make the simple thing, right? I'm going to tell you, it's not even that hard to see. Why do people not want to go for fresh hooks? This perk. This single-handedly perk, no matter, I don't care if this perk is 4 seconds, 5 seconds, 3 seconds, fucking 2 seconds. If you're using it properly, it's going to do its job. And it's to anti-tunnel. Okay? Anti-tunneling. This perk single-handedly, debatably, ruined Dead by Daylight. In a lot of states. Okay? Just because they nerfed it by a fucking second doesn't mean it's garbage. I'm surprised people complained about it. I think for this perk to just be a little bit more balanced, I mean, not that it changes anything, by the way, but stun the killer for 3 seconds. Just leave it at 3. I'm one of those guys, just keep it at 3. Because that's good, because it makes good players think how to use it. You don't just die in a dead zone, okay? You die somewhat near enough where you can get 3 seconds of distance to a pallet. I understand what people might say. What about Nurse? And what about Blight that can't catch up? But here's the thing. Nurse wouldn't have to... Honestly, Nurse shouldn't even exist. Nurse and Blight and Spirit, all these killers are the only thing in Dead by Daylight that is keeping Survivor from not being the power role. And even so, they still have advantages. A lot more advantages. And that's because of perks mostly. Okay? So, I don't like that. Because then that means you'll just only play against 1 killer. Or 2 or 3 killers basically a game, right? Let me ask you something. Do you want to play against Nurse every game? Do you want to play against Nurse, Blight, Spirit every game? No, you don't. You want more variety. You want to play against a Wraith, play a Trapper, a Billy, fuck, who cares? Like Singularity, bro. Or, probably not Twins. No one likes Twins, to be honest. But, like, at least you want to see them probably once in a while, A variety. The game's more fresh. Feels fresh, balanced that way. Because you're seeing multiple things. But no. Nurse is a complicated thing. Nurse, well, yes, you could just say, hey, fuck the balance of this game and just play Nurse. Yeah, but it's not fun for either side. I don't really see how it would be fun for the killer even to just say, oh, fuck it, God palette at Shaq, who gives a shit? You know what I mean? Blink there, blink this, blink that. Bro. Like, I don't understand it. Casual players won't understand it because they probably barely get nurses at their level. When I looked at the 67k players on only Steam, I was wondering, well, that doesn't obviously count cross-platform because then probably the game, because console players, there's probably a lot of console players. This game would probably be, if I were currently speaking, right, 67k, this game, including Epic Games, okay, and consoles, would probably be at 100k right now. So why was I getting the same players that one day? Because top MMR. The majority, that tells you a lot, by the way. The majority of the community are casual players. Isn't that a little sad to think about? Like, to a certain extent, like, because they're the majority, therefore behavior thinks majority equals right move. No, it's not how it works. The only good thing that they've done in this game was nerf Dead Hard, which is deserved. Dead Hard back then, a fucking robot, a dog, could use it. Okay. You pressed E and you got distance. Now they nerfed it to you time it right, and you're kind of in a lose-lose situation if they're at the palette anyway, because they could just use Dead Hard. But majority of the time, my survivors greet the palette, and because they have Dead Hard, they kind of make it obvious sometimes. I ain't gonna lie. But honestly, you can run a lot of things. Look, no one talks about this. I don't see this. I don't even know why, but I don't even see this anymore. Deliverance. You know, Deliverance is probably debatably, in my honest eyes, the most broken perk you can use. In solo queue, it's not as good, but that's how it's supposed to be because this perk is like a survive with friends perk. And it's good that it's not as good in solo queue. But now it probably is. You want to know why it's good in solo queue? Because your teammates can see your perks as we speak, right? Ever since that update. Yeah? Pushing solo more to survive with friends. And then people wonder why the game's more imbalanced every day, or why killer feels rough and rougher to play. Because of this. Now you can bring Deliverance, and your entire teammates won't even save you. So you're playing as if you're playing a survive friends or comp game, dude. Dog. I'm gonna keep it 100, dude. Deliverance is one of the most broken perks if used correctly. Because it's like having a fifth invisible person in the match. An invisible survivor. You wait until last hook say, even if the killer comes back to try to just secure a second hook, you just Kobe off. Just get off the hook. Oh, wow. Oh, I've got 8 seconds of BT in a bottle now? Yeah, borrow time in a bottle. That's sick. Yeah. And you know what's funny about bar time in a bottle and decisive strike and off the record, especially before, and even still now, is it's not even used as an anti-tunnel. It's used very much as an offensive thing. So they don't think about it that way. They don't, right? Yeah. Let's see. Calm Spirit. I don't know why they nerfed this perk. They want more variety, but I don't know why they nerfed it. So, the good thing about this was you didn't alert Doctor as an example, as the bigger one, right? I believe... I'm not sure if you would still get Madness. I could be incorrect. I can't remember. I just recently woke up. It says, you do not scarecrows or scream. Okay, fine. But, you bless and cleanse totems and unlock chests silently, but you do 30% slower? Huh? No, it shouldn't even be slower. It's a perk slot. Just because it's silent? No one cares. If you're doing a chest, the only time the killer won't actually benefit from this is if you're in the basement. At like endgame, you're trying to get a key. It's the only time it benefits you, and he's like nearby. You know what I mean? And even still, you can stop doing the chest. Totems? Most of the time I see them, they're out in the open. Not even gonna lie, dude. Kinda sad no one uses it much, dude. But let me tell you something. When it comes to exhaustion perks, yeah, whatever. Like, they can be good. Like, Overcome is really good against 110 killers. Lithe is, well, Lithe. But if you're gonna ask me, right, I bet this is gonna be predictable if anyone's watching my, that will watch this video. Do you want to see what build I run in solo queue, and even debatably with a Swift? Like, honestly, it's good anywhere. I'll show you right now. You ready? Sprint burst. You can 99 sprint burst and use this to your advantage as well. You want to guess what second perk is? I don't run decisive strike, believe it or not. You want to know why? Because this perk exists and it does similar. So basically, that's what it does. You get unhooked. Doesn't matter how. Whenever you get unhooked, you gain 70% healing progress. The only thing that somewhat counters this is sloppy, because you get unhooked, and if you have sloppy on you, you know, it reduces the progress and it goes down a little more to 50% by the time you start healing your teammate. But that's really good. Really, really good. What else do I use? Well, it depends. I sometimes use reassurance if I'm playing Swift. This can be good. Very good. But if I'm playing solo, let's see. I wonder what else we're gonna pick. Am I right, guys? It used to be fast track, but they nerfed it, which is fair enough. Like, deserved. Thank God this got nerfed. Now you actually have to do something and go. Is it unhook? Yeah, you have to actually go unhook in our survivor. Honestly, the fact that it's still permanent progress is madness, but still, at least you have to go off of a generator, right? Anyways, this depends a lot, but I'll tell you what I run, right? So I got sprint burst, resurgence, yeah, resurgence and adrenaline. Adrenaline, do I even need to explain it? Like, I don't actually even see people running this perk a lot, and this perk is still OP. Just because what they nerfed it by 2 seconds, the haste? God, you gotta be kidding me, dude. Like, it's so funny. Like, yeah. Okay, and for the last one, it's a little flexible. You can run Deliverance if you want. You can still run DS if you're getting hard tunneled a lot in your matches with Resurgence. Still good. You can run, let's see. You can run Fixated if you're good at chases. Fixated is good. I believe it is. Inner Strength, very underrated perk too. Really good. Where's the other one? I'm trying to think of what the name of it was. It just stopped in my head. I'm good at chases, so I do sometimes play Quick Gambit. Very poor design in my opinion, that perk. You're doing 2 things at once. 3 technically. You're getting chased. You can see everyone's auras, and they just repair faster. Like, it's stupid. You know what I mean? Resilience. You can run Resilience. Like, neutral perk, you'll always get value from this no matter what. No matter what you do in the game. You can run Troubleshooter. It just depends on the scenarios and how your matches usually go. You can have an anti-slug. Good perk. But yeah, this is what I would probably run. There you go. And I actually stopped playing the game recently. That's why you only see 7 pages of perks. I stopped playing recently, like a lot of, not even recently, like quite a while ago. I don't care about the game. And probably for the meta, there you go. Do I even have? There you go, I do. There, double. You still heal fast as a solo, just because they decrease the efficiency. I agree this was a good change, however. That they changed the 8 kits. I agree 110% that they should only have 24 charges, all of them, by the way. And the efficiency when healing yourself is decreased by 33, which is really good. But yeah, and these getting nerfed actually did hurt Survivor a lot, because this was really strong, where you could, well, back then you could insta-heal, or if they were on the floor, you could, you know, heal them back to full health, but let's not talk about that. This was over a period of, I believe, 16 seconds, and it would speed up if you even had botany knowledge or whatever, desperate measures and resilience. But it would slow down if the killer had, like, colorophobia, too. Styptic agent now increase the efficiency, which removes some of that 33% there. Useless, basically. Before, it used to give you, I believe way back then, it used to heal just one health state, even if they were on the ground. I believe this used to give you endurance for 8 seconds, which they nerfed to 5 seconds, and they just realized these two are too broken to use. I mean, I think anti-exhaustion syringe can still be very time-consuming for the killer, depending on the killer, too. Like, if it's Blight, like, probably whatever, because Sprint Burst, I mean, yeah. I mean, you could Sprint Burst. We'll go in a straight line. He could have used 3 Blight Rushes. Hit you. You run, use the speed boost, stop, pop it, and go. If he's still coming to you, and you'd have cross-map distance, basically, yeah. I mean, it is still pretty good. It's better than the healing one, though, that's for sure. I don't have much to say, though, anymore. That's just my take on the game at the current moment. Oh, yeah, and stop bringing out with these garbage game modes. Like, I don't think anyone cares anymore. The only people that care about 2v8 are casuals. Like, literally. But yeah, that's about it. I would recommend you guys go watch True Talent on a lot of his takes. I believe his reacts playlist, where he reacts to other people, gives you a lot of information on how he sees also the state of the game. He's reacted to a lot of things as well, like why so many streamers are leaving TBD. Even though they're outdated, he does talk about a lot of the past reasons. Of an example, when flashlight timings were completely removed, and he talks about, yeah, that was stupid. There's no skill expression, and that is true. To this day, I do not know why they removed light burning for Nurse. Believe it or not, I genuinely don't know. I don't think that light burning for Nurse had anything to do with casuals. Believe it or not, dude. Because that just means that there's less counterplay to the Nurse. So, and it was like really hard to do. Like, I probably only did it in my entire time playing like 10 times. Like, that's how hard it was to do. But to be fair, I didn't always play against nurses. My suggestions, though, to fix the game, except for obviously making the game's hooks over the kills, they don't even need to add a ranked mode. At least not directly. I kind of prefer if you could, like, do this, play killer, and right here on the bottom right, there was strict MMR box. And it explains what it does, just in case you're, like, stupid, bro. And you can take it on and off. So, like, if you want to go against good players, you can. But the matchmaking will take longer, and you will expect that. Or you can have fast matchmaking where you go against anyone. Because currently, 5 minutes. Yeah, it's still the same. The first time I came back after strict MMR, it was 7 minutes. Look at that, 5 minutes. Yeah, no, I'm good. But on Survivor, it's even faster. Way faster. It's like 30 seconds. Not even sometimes. So, I don't know. The game needs a lot of changes. But yeah. We'll see. Hopefully they stop the bring loads of advantages thing for Survivor, because it's kind of stupid. But yeah. Honestly, dude, True Talent was right. I actually thought he was weird back then a little. Like, not him, like him. I mean, his idea was weird of the game being about hooks, but probably because we're just so used to the kills now. And, you know, it's called killer, not just someone who just goes for hooks, like a hooker. But no, it's all starting to add up into pieces now. And if you still can't see it in the big 26, considering this game is, I believe it's almost 10 years old now, right, guys? I believe the game's coming up to its 10th year anniversary, which is wild. This game's been out for 10 years. And instead of evolving like humans evolved, you know, behavior just go backwards. Like, literally. Kind of sad. But yeah. Well, I hope you guys did enjoy that little, you know, talk about it. Maybe help with some insight. I'm sorry if I stuttered a lot or anything. I do suffer a lot from a speech impediment, and I find it really hard for me to speak and get things off my mind. So I don't think as quickly. So if you guys, you know, are a bit mad that I'm stopping during the conversation, I am sorry, and I know I was only letting you know at the end of the video, but hopefully you guys enjoyed anyway, and I hope you have a good day. So yeah, peace.